Welcome to another Merritt podcast. I got Misty looking at me like, what the heck is going on? So I want to welcome everyone back to another one of Merritt's podcasts. Today in the studio, we have the one, the only, the big dog, Misty. How you doing today, Misty?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing well.
Good.
So now that I got you as a captive audience, tell me a little bit about yourself. Tell me what you like to do. Tell me why you're at Merritt and all that fun stuff.
Okay. Well, I've been at Merritt, I think, going on 5 years now. Mm-hmm. I love to teach to the members. The energy is incredible with them. A little bit about myself. I just turned 40, and I believe 40 is like going to be the best
happy
years.
Happy birthday.
Thank you. Thank you. And I've always been active. I've played sports all my life and been active and so forth and so on. And so I got into teaching probably about 7 years ago, and I haven't stopped, and I don't plan on stopping anytime soon.
Very, very cool. Now, do you only teach classes at Merritt, or do you have another job? What's that all look like?
Well, I do have another job. I have a full-time job. I'm in the insurance business.
Okay.
So it's a desk job, so it's kind of a relief to go.
To get up and cycle?
Yep, to get up and go kick some butt. So,
there you go.
But yeah, and I only teach at Merritt right now. I teach Tuesday night, 6 p.m. hip-hop spin, which seems to be a fan favorite.
Very, very cool.
And Wednesday boot camp and Saturday morning cycle as well.
Okay.
Yep.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong. Are you not originally from Maryland? Because I hear a little bit of a twang in there somewhere.
You are wrong. I am born and raised Baltimore. However, some of my family is from the Virginia.
Okay, so there's something in there.
So I think, people do say I have a southern accent in some things that I say, but I guess it's probably better than the Baltimore accent. I don't know. Just kidding.
The Baltimorean accent.
Yeah.
I'm from Maryland too, so I can say that. It's okay.
Yeah.
So, tell me, what's your favorite color? Are you married? Do you have kids? What got you into cycling?
Okay. All right. Favorite colors, I have a couple of them. Blue,
I think that's purple. Against the rules of favorites.
I just bought a purple Jeep Wrangler. It's like my favorite car I've ever owned.
Oh, jeez. Okay.
So, but everybody seems to think I bought it for the Ravens, but I really didn't. I mean, why would you buy a car for a sports team? And what was the other question?
Are you married or do you have kids?
Oh, no, I'm not married. No kids.
Okay. Any pets?
I do have a dog.
Ooh, what kind of dog?
He's a pit bull. He's a sweetheart. Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah, very, very sweetheart. And I live in Owings Mills. Okay. But I work downtown.
That's a little bit of a hike.
Yeah, okay. But I'm used to it. I can probably do that drive with my eyes closed, but probably not the best
Hopefully
idea.
not a good.
And I got into spin, I think I said about 7 years ago. It was by someone who basically got me another trainer, said I should try this out. I'd be good at it. I have the personality for it and the knack for it. So I kind of jumped into it, and it's kind of funny. My very first spin class, I'll never forget it, and I'm sure all instructors never forget their
story.
First. Yeah, and it was hair bands of the 80s was the theme. And, I'm a 80s, 90s girl, so I love, Poison, Def Leppard, and stuff like that.
No kidding.
Love to rock out at it. But now, today, my cycle class has taken a different direction, and I'm more of your hip-hop, dance, club kind of girl.
Very
yeah.
Cool.
So
now, fun little fact, hip-hop kind of grew a little bit out of rock and roll. They share a lot of musical roots. So, it's really not that far of a venture for you.
No, not at all. Not at all. And I'm an old school kind of girl, so I like the old school hip-hop.
Very cool.
But and again, it's a fan favorite at Merritt and Canton. I can't even tell you how many people have come up and asked me to add another hip hop class, but I'm like, I don't really know if I have the time. So, but I try to contrast my Tuesday evening class from hip hop, and on Saturday mornings I'll try to do something different. So it's strictly hip-hop on Tuesdays, and then it's more club, dance, cool. EDM aspect of today's music.
Very cool. So, so bring the glow sticks to Saturday morning.
That's right, and the fist pumps and everything else. We wave towels, we clap, we sing, we dance. Yep, we have a good old time.
What's the it's probably limited by bike numbers, but like what's the most people you've ever had in a class before?
Well, the Canton studio has 70 bikes, and I get 70 people consistently each week. It's very humbling that many people want to come.
Following.
Yeah. So, and everybody registers. I usually have a wait list, but I find that the wait list deters people from coming. But I always try to preach, still come even if you're on the wait list.
Right.
There's a lot of times when people register, they last minute can't make it, or they're stuck in traffic or at work late or whatever, and so waitlist people get in all the time. So if you're listening and you get on my wait list, please still try to come and make it. So,
very cool. Very cool. Now, have you done other group fitness classes before? Has it only ever been cycling?
Yes, I do. I've done things like a flex class, which is similar to a body pump class, but it's weights and so forth and so on. I don't do that now at Merritt, but I do a boot camp on Wednesday nights.
Cool.
And my style is really geared towards athleticism mostly, because I'm an athlete, so I like to train like an athlete. So we do in the boot camps, we'll do a lot of like sprinting and just like athletic movements to work on coordination and stability, agility, and strength and so forth and so on.
So an athlete, did you play sports growing up?
I did. I played basketball and softball mostly.
Okay, let's think here. Basketball, what position?
I was a shooting guard.
You were a shooting guard? Okay, that makes sense. You're not the tallest
person
in the world. And then softball, what did you play in softball?
Center field.
Okay, very cool. So you had to do lots of running.
Lots of running, and you had to have a good arm. So
very cool. Awesome.
Now, if I tried to throw something, my arm would probably fall off.
You might throw your arm.
Yeah, I kind of gave up the recreational sports for fitness.
Cool.
Because I didn't want to take a chance of playing something and getting hurt and not being able to perform in the fitness world. So, yep.
So now let's jump into that fitness world a little bit. Breakdown cycle for me. I ride my bike to work. But that is far different from a cycle class.
It is, yeah.
Kind of break it down to me. What does your hip hop cycle class look like? What does that kind of dance EDM cycle class look like? How do you develop these? How do you come up with it? Take me through the journey.
Okay, all right. So I like, every instructor is different, and I'm big on let's have fun. Let's forget what we're doing here and sweat and have fun and not be so serious. So I like to bring energy to my classes, but in reality, my classes really bring the energy to me. So the more energy they're putting off, because I can feel that, the more I'm going to give. And then vice versa, the more they're going to give. Right. So when I'm putting together playlists, it's one of those things that I've noticed over the years that just comes very natural to me. I don't overthink it. I just put together the songs and I do everything by the beat. Okay. So there's mostly no counting. I might count down for people to know that we're getting ready to transition into something else, and I'll lead them into a medium hill or a heavy hill or wherever we're going. Right. But everything is by the beat. So when I have a class of 70 people who are all incredible and are there to work hard, I want to put them in a position where they just feel the music and feel the beat and just roll with it. And a lot of times, I can anticipate the beat, even on a new song that I probably barely listen to. Today's music is just all the same to me, but you can anticipate the beats and you just go with it. And I take them through a ride. It could be a hilly ride one day where you're constantly up and down. I always tell them we're going to have a emotional roller coaster ride today, and it's just kind of up down. Or some days like yesterday, I was, we were quick out of the gate, and then we had a huge climb for a little while, and then we brought it back down and we finished it off nice and strong. So it all depends on, I don't write down my routines or anything like that. It just comes to me as soon as the song starts. I feel it and I move with it, and that's where the class goes with me.
You sound like quite kind of like the artist on the bicycle. You know?
And then and then by the end of the class, I want them to give their all, and they give their all, and they leave it all there in the room, and I want them to come there and just really, relieve any stress that they had from that day, and get it all out of their system. So by the time they leave, they go home and they feel so much better about their day.
No, it means a lot. Again, that kind of group mentality that you go in, you see Sally across the room. I'm sure there's some people who compete with one another inside the class and all that kind of stuff. But it's good to kind of go into that atmosphere where after class is done, class is done. It's not going. It's not going to follow you home. This isn't like you still have to send one more email or something like that.
Right.
It's you get in there. It's a mental reset. Obviously, it's great physically, but it's a mental reset. It's an emotional reset, and it kind of gives you that opportunity to kind of bring everything down and realize, I feel better about myself. I feel better.
Yeah.
Right.
And I push a lot on people that your workout is never going to be like someone else's workout. Like everybody's workout is different, because a lot of times with all the fitness devices nowadays, they're comparing their calorie burn to their neighbor's calorie burn, and they don't understand, and blah, blah, blah. But there's so many different factors that go into how someone burns calories and works and so forth and so on. So please I tell everybody, do not compare your workout to anyone.
Compete against yourself.
Yeah,
for sure.
Exactly. And look for the small improvements, and don't try to go right for the big improvement. Cool. Baby steps.
There you go. So we've got the cycle classes. I've seen these shoes. There are these shoes that clip into to the pedals. Break it down for me. What brand should I get? Because I'd like to get a pair eventually.
Yeah.
But what is the purpose? And then any recommendations?
Yeah. So I always joke with my classes, and I'm changing the world one pair of spin shoes at a time. And I really do preach to my classes to, if you take cycle religiously, even once a week, or if you enjoy spin and you try to get to it as much as you can, and maybe it's every other week, anytime you're on a bike, I say get spin shoes. And one of the things that a lot of people come up and ask me, what kind should I get? How, I have the Bontrager's. They're great shoes. They're not overly expensive. And these shoes last you forever. Unless you're out riding around and getting them muddy and this and that. But mainly if you're using them for indoor cycle classes, then they're going to last forever. And you get a pair of Bontrager's and what they call SPD clips. I always tell everyone, do not order them online. Do not, because they feel different. You got to go and you got to try them on. You got to walk around. Wear them. Yeah, and talk to the guys in the bike store. So a lot of times I'll direct our members to Joe's Bike Shop or Performance Cycle, I think it's called, over on Key Highway or something. I forget what it's called. Yeah. But I tell them, go there, try a couple pairs on, see what you like. And make sure they're comfortable, because sometimes you can get them way too snug. And then have the guys there at the bike shop put the clips on for you, because so many people put the clips on themselves and they don't get them tight enough, and they get stuck in the bikes and or they move, or have you. So those guys at the bike shop, they just have an act for it. That's
they do
their
it for
specialty.
a living for a reason, right?
Yeah. So yeah, I had so many people start of the new year come up to me and say, I just got spin shoes. How do I get them on? How do I clip in? So forth and so on. And then afterwards, they come to me and they say, wow, you're right. It does totally change the whole workout, because basically when you're clipped in, everything's in line. You're not moving.
Right.
You get more of the power aspect of it. You're stuck in there. When you're wearing tennis shoes, you're using predominantly your quads,
Yep.
and with the spin shoes, you get the pull-up effect using your
You get
hamstrings.
that hamstring in there as well. Yep.
So a lot of people tell me that the workout seemed a lot harder. They're a lot more tired by the end of the class, and
You're using more muscles.
Exactly. So, I know they're not the most prettiest things ever, but we're not there for a fashion show.
Right, I've seen a couple. They kind of look like those like old school bowling alley shoes.
Yep.
Kind of like
Yeah, they're hard soles, and get the. You get the Velcro. They have them now where they're kind of like tennis shoe like. I personally like the Velcro because you're more contained.
Yeah.
If you're wearing just tennis shoes in the cages there, you have a give, whereas the spin shoes you don't have a give and you're stuck there. So and everything again is in line. Your shoes not moving around like as if you're squashing a bug.
Yeah.
So if you do spin, you love it. You try to get into a class as much as possible, and you're still in tennis shoes. I promise you, if you get spin shoes, it'll make a complete difference. It'll change your life. Okay. It's a life changer.
Very, very cool. All right. Now, I've only had one other group fitness instructor on so far, and that was Amelia.
Okay.
Our director here. And she shared her embarrassing story of when her pants split in body pump. So
I didn't know that story.
So what is your most embarrassing moment in any of your classes?
I
know. We need to record it for future generations so everyone can know.
I don't know if I have. I don't know if I have.
Nothing in particular?
No, my plants never split. I never peed myself. I never.
It sounds like you've heard these stories of others before then.
Yeah,
that's usually...
I don't. Yeah, I've never had any random falls or anything. I don't know.
Okay. Well,
I don't think I have. Besides like when you get started and you're still trying to learn what your niche is and stuff like that. Maybe some things that I've said in the past that half the time I don't know what I say in these spin classes.
I go out there.
But yeah, I don't have anything like that yet. I'm sure it'll happen.
Give it time.
Yeah.
Something will pop up. So you've already started a beef with the old school and the new school hip hop.
Oh yeah, the new school hip hop is not even. I don't even know what that is.
It's mumbling, is what it is.
Yeah.
So kind of, you mentioned you prefer the.
What I try to play is stuff that people don't always hear anymore because a lot of people when you're listening to the radio, you're listening to the top 40 stuff over and over and over again. So I go and I dig deep and I'll pull out some Tupac and some Biggie and Puff Daddy and old school Baltimore Club.
Oh, no kidding! You really have to blow off the records for some of this stuff.
Yeah, which and it takes people back to wherever they were at the time and what they were doing and brings back memories for them and hopefully all good. But I'll just dig deep and I'll find stuff that, again, like I know that is out there and I've heard and I actively listen to, but a song might come on in class and somebody might be like, oh my gosh, I haven't heard this song in forever, and that's
Prom 1982.
Yeah, exactly. So, and that's what I try to bring out in people and say, and then there's the younger generation, when I do pull that stuff out, they're not too sure about it.
Yeah.
So that's why I go back and forth between, the old school stuff and then the newer school stuff, like, from 2005 and up. And then in today's hip hop, it's so vulgar that
it's tough to
you
find
have
some
to
things
watch.
that you gotta,
and it's a lot of it doesn't even have a beat. So I gotta find the stuff that has a beat to it because that's what Cycle is about, the beat.
Right.
So
no, that's cool. I can totally imagine going into class. It's almost, especially if it's some stuff that folks haven't heard before. It's almost like an adventure because if it's a song you hear over and over and over again, you can kind of learn and kind of like, oh, this is when the song gets really pumped up. This is when I know it's coming. But if it's a song you're not familiar with, it's like every single, revolution of the pedal is going to be, is she going to make me climb up a mountain right now? Or are we going down?
Right. And I know I played this old school song, and I've had a couple people after class come up to you and say, "What's that? Is that a new song? What is that?" I'm like, "Oh man, that's like 20, 25 years old."
Oh, geez.
But you can bring that. I believe that the old school stuff never really gets old. Today's music, you hear it over and over again, and then you're just like, you move on. You're like, I'm so sick of hearing that song, but. You can never get sick of hearing "It Takes Two" by Rob Bass. I mean, come on.
That's super cool.
At least in my opinion.
Right. All right. Now, let's get down to the real question. Oh. Everyone's asking.
I keep thinking you're asking me real questions.
Oh, no, they're going to get deep. They're going to get deep. The real question, how do you sit on a cycle seat?
Okay, yes.
Break it down. I don't know if you have to split the rules for the ladies and the guys. Tell me how it's done.
It's called, you have to be consistent, and then the feeling goes away. I always tell people, if you come 3-4 times, then eventually you won't feel that your butt gets used to it.
Right.
It's like always the first complaint about people's first spin class. Well, my butt always hurts. Well, if you come consistently, it'll eventually not hurt.
Yeah.
And
plus, I'm sure over those classes you'll shift around and eventually
we go
go
up and down. Typically, I always tell people to put their butt towards the back of the saddle. Especially when we're climbing and putting forth some power.
Right.
And we come up out of the seat, out of the saddle a lot. So, you're always up and down, and hopefully when I'm playing the beats and you're into it and blah, blah, you just kind of forget that you're much. Exactly.
Yeah. Good deal.
So but there's no comfortable position on the bike seat. It's just consistently coming is what really helps with that. I did a 24-hour spin-a-thon.
What?
Yeah, one time. 2 times. I forget. I mean, you get delirious.
Blurs all at one point.
Yeah, and that was...
when, why, just for the heck of it?
So there was another gym that was open in Canton that I used to belong to before I came to Merritt, and they would do a 24-hour spin-a-thon. Every hour they would have a class.
Oh my
And
gosh.
to raise money we raise money for the Maryland Food Bank. We raise money for... Bee Gaddy's stuff, and it was right around that November time frame, and so every hour a different instructor would come in and teach a class, and I tell you what, the middle of the night classes were the most fun ones.
Everyone's a little giddy.
3 o'clock
everyone's
in the morning,
a little,
So it wasn't just me. We had a team of people. 8, 7, 10 people maybe who did it, and we kept each other company. Hardest thing is, you have your ups and your downs throughout the hours.
Absolutely.
But talk about the butt hurting. There's no consistency in that. I felt like I had skin falling off my butt and everything, but I did it. It was just a little raw.
There's a very, very, very fine line between obsession and dedication.
Yeah. But obviously when you're on a bike for 24 hours, you're not spinning hard.
Yeah. Of those 24 hours, how many hours do you think you actually spent spinning? Because you said you were, no pun intended, you were cycling through instructors, how many of the classes did you actually instruct during the time? How many of the classes did you take?
I took all of them. I was there the whole 24 hours on the bike. Now, obviously, between classes, you could get off
bathroom
the bike.
Break, grab hopefully some food.
Yeah, and I would shower different. If I sweat too much, I would shower and then come back and for the next start time. But I taught the 2 a.m. class.
Oh,
the 2 a.m. class, yeah.
Gosh.
And we did glow sticks and stuff.
That is absolutely bananas. How long did you sleep after this? Did you just go home and just crash? What?
Yeah, actually, I think we had an after party because it started at 6 p.m. and ended
people wanted
the
to
next
party.
day. So, yeah, so we would have an after party and we would go and me personally, and my adrenaline was going,
Uh-huh.
and I was excited that I just did this and accomplished
You were
this.
so
and,
buzzed up. You're like, whatever, let's go. Right.
Yeah, and it was cool to see, different people come in at different hours, and they were rooting us on and
Right.
stuff. And so we go to the after party, and I think, 2 hours in there, you're like, oh, I got to go to bed.
Uh-huh.
I got to go to bed. So you get your usual 7-8 hours of sleep, and you're good to go.
When Canton's all done getting their new toys and bells and whistles over there, maybe we'll have to talk to Chip and say, what do you think about this, buddy?
Yeah, right. Yeah, right.
It's super cool.
Yeah, I can't wait for all that to be done. It's going to be incredible.
No more hammers, right? You want
Yeah. Yeah. Every time I walk in that gym, something's different. I'm like, wow, they've, those, I'll tell you what, that Merritt Properties construction people, they work really, really hard.
I mean, it's been kind of a running joke that it was like an hour, not an hour, like a year and a half now, I guess, of renovations or so. But they put in a lot of work. There's a lot of stuff.
Yeah,
down
I mean,
there
they're
now.
there. I see them Saturday mornings and, Tuesday nights when I'm leaving, they're still there. They work hard. I give them mad props.
Have you gotten to play on the gorilla bars yet?
No.
No.
I see them. I think I got to work up to those. I don't think I've done that since I was a kid.
That is so cool. No,
Yeah.
the 24-hour cyclothon, that is again, very fine line between obsession and dedication. And
Yeah.
I knew you spin folks.
It's
for
all in
little-
fun.
There you go. No, that's great. And plus, it sounds like you did some really great causes, the food bank, and then what was that second one?
The Bee Gaddy. I don't even think they have it around
Oh, okay.
anymore, but it was just, they were providing meals to the homeless for the
So
holidays.
cool. That's
yeah.
very, very cool.
Yep.
So, is there anything that we missed? Is there anything else? Is it Cycling 101? Is there anything else we need to tell folks out there?
No, not at all. I think another thing is, runners. They go out and they pound the pavement, and their joints, everything, just gets messed up
Yep.
over time. And cycle is a great cross trainer to running. It still keeps up your endurance. Your power.
Yep.
It increases your power because, especially on the cycling hills, you're
Yep,
powering
it's
up
a
those hills.
different kind of challenge. So
Yeah.
I'm a runner myself, so up until maybe when I'm 25 now, it's 21, 22, I could get away with just running every single day and it was fine. Not so much anymore. I'm starting to wake up like, why does that hurt?
Yep.
I don't remember that. So I've started sprinkling in some cycling because you can get all those really stellar cardiovascular benefits. The heart and the lungs are still working just as hard as though you were running. Even for swimmers, same thing.
Yeah, same thing. Yeah, I was going to say swimming is a great alternative too.
Yeah, it's one of those things where you can kind of add it in and really not subtract from the rest of your workouts because it's just as beneficial of a cardiovascular workout. So
Yep.
it's not like you're cheating yourself. It's not one of those things, well, if I didn't run today, I didn't get anything out of it. It's like, no, you can get something great off of a bike.
Yeah, and I got to tell you, I've done a couple half marathons, and I just recently did a couple of sprint triathlons.
Oh, cool.
And I do these things to get out of my comfort zone. I actually hate running, but I do it.
You're breaking my heart
I
over
do.
here, Misty.
But I do it to get out of my comfort zone and to do something different.
Right.
Because if you do the same things over and over again, it's just never, you're going to eventually hit a plateau, and then you got to up your game and change things up and so forth and so on. So I run. And I have a friend who got me into the triathlon, bike, run, and swim thing, or swim, bike, run, whatever it is. And I was like, you know what, I'm going to do this, and as a kid I could swim,
Right.
I had to get the technique down.
Uh-huh.
And which I worked on, and I did, and I found out that I have like this newfound love for swimming. I think it's relaxing, it's therapeutic.
Yeah.
You and the water, and all you hear is the water when you're in there, and you kind of like lose all thoughts in your mind, and you clear your mind. And
I'm sure it's a really kind of very different because you're so used to being with that music in cycle, and then
Yeah, you don't have
suddenly
it, yeah.
It's just water.
right,
It's probably
And-
like night and day, I'm sure.
yeah, it's very relaxing for me, and therapeutic. And then so when you're training for all this stuff, to have the three different things. You have the running, which is a high impact, you're pounding the pavement, and then you go to the cycle, which is lower impact, and then you got the whole swimming, and it's just ease through the water. It's a great cross-training sport to get into, but a lot of the runners, they think, I just need to run, I need to run, and they don't, and
right.
I personally have my first half marathon I actually trained for. Like, I trained to the T, running, everything. And then the more I did, I just I couldn't find the time to run, and I hated it anyway. So I actually ran like 2 half marathons off of just spinning.
It's incredible. Again, then it's that cross training. It's incredible that it does actually work, where you can kind of share the benefits from that. Yeah,
saves your joints, and lowers your injuries, and so definitely cross train, spin shoes, get used to the saddle, you're good to go.
Good deal. Old hip hop's better than new hip hop.
That's right. Don't tell the millennials that.
We're the worst. I want to apologize on behalf of my entire generation. I know we're the worst. We have terrible taste in music. We spend all of our money.
You're only 25. You're 25.
Only 20. Oh, yeah. No. I need to start exfoliating. Oh,
no. Well, you carry yourself very well. So
I thought really well.
You're very mature. Although 25-year-olds can be mature too. I'm 40.
It's okay. You look 25, so it's fair. It's fair.
Yeah.
So I guess, this is kind of the part I mentioned. This is where people start to loosen up. You actually did phenomenal.
Oh, thank you.
I think guest of the year so far.
Well, we're still new in the year.
Whatever. So, we cycle, insurance as day job. Any hobbies?
Well, I love sports.
Okay.
I'm a big Ravens fan and a Orioles fan because I'm a hometown girl.
Yeah.
And I root for my hometown teams no matter how much they suck. And how frustrated I get. But I enjoy wine. Like good wine. Good wine. Mm-hmm. Not your $8 bottles of wine. And I just for my 40th, I went out to wine country out in California. And,
very cool.
Yeah, and spent a good week or so out there and really enjoyed just like the whole winemaking process and learning about the different grapes and varietals and so forth and so on. So, but I almost start to think it gets me in trouble because it's an expensive
it's an expensive habit when you start looking at the good stuff.
I used to be into photography, but I got out of that. And I enjoy traveling, seeing new things, doing new things, and hanging out with my friends.
That's great.
Yeah. I gotta make myself start dating.
Well, here's your opportunity.
I gotta do that D word now.
Long walks on the beach, pina coladas, all that.
That's right.
So, from here, I just want to really thank you. I was a little late today, so I really appreciate your patience.
No problem.
Thank you so much for coming in today. Here's where I usually say, do you do the Instagram? Do you do the Facebook stuff? If so, do you want to plug it? Here's your opportunity. Tell people to go to your class.
Yeah, sure. I am on Facebook and I'm on Instagram now. How actively? Probably not as active as a lot of people, but I promote my classes. But I've kind of had to back off a little bit because I do get such a big showing and it gets a little crazy and thankfully no fights have broken out or anything. Nobody's argued over a bike, but now with the whole motion vibe system, it seems to be working pretty well where you can go on, you hit register and I
want the bike in the
choose
corner.
Your bike.
Yep.
So that works now. It was crashing a lot, but they got that all fixed.
Sweet. Awesome.
And I just want to thank all the members who are listening who do take my cycle classes for being patient with that and so forth and so on. And I hate kicking people out and telling them I don't have another bike. And so I want everybody to get a chance to come and see what it's about. And I really enjoy teaching to them and enjoy the energy that they feed off and just everything. So, But I thank you for reaching out to me, Andrew, and having me on.
Thank you. I well, as soon as I heard you were the big dog, I was like,
I don't know about that. I just do my thing. I don't know what I do differently than anybody else,
cool.
but maybe the members are
there you go.
can shed some light on that. I don't know.
So as soon as we're off air, I'll have you give me the lowdown on everyone else from Canton I should have come over and everyone I shouldn't have come over.
Yeah, you can ask anybody. They're all great.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Misty. Real quick, just on Instagram, what's your handle?
What is it? Oh my gosh, see, I don't even. It's Facebook. It's Misty Edrington, which is my name, Mysty, and Edrington, 3 words, Edrington.
Oh, that's super simple.
Yeah,
My last name's Lingelbach. It doesn't quite break down like that.
And my Instagram, I gotta try to. I think it's Mist77. What is it? It is MYST77 for 1977, the year I was born. So
very cool.
But I'm on there, and I get people that tag me from the classes and stuff, and it's nice.
Thanks, Misty. I can't walk today. My legs are so sore.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Yeah. Thank you.
This was great. This was really, really good.
Yep.
I think I'll go out and buy a pair of cycle shoes now.
Yeah, you should. Changing the world, one pair of spin shoes at a time.
I like it. Thanks so much, Misty.
All right. Thank you.